And that was very central and is central to a church doctrine.
You don't think it tries to keep men under control?
Well,
it's just women you're concerned about?
Well, in this case, that is what I'm concerned about. Yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think the one thing that I would like to point out about her that has been misrepresented is that she has been thrown in with the eugenics movements.
Yes.
And that was not accurate. However, because she used some of the eugenic words and statements to get across her point, the eugenics did not believe in contraception because they believed that the fit, how they define them, should reproduce. And so in court, and to engage that, part of her thing was just, distorted. And so she's always had that kind of ugly element attached to her when that was really not her. She felt like you should work with ignorance, trying to help educate people. As long as you're educating, that's a very positive way to go about it. Not to say that only fit people should reproduce and we should control the unfit.
We have to let everybody reproduce?
Well, in a free society,
How do you define fit?
Well, but look, the average IQ in Cambodia has gone down 8 points since the Khmer Rouge eliminated everybody that wore glasses.
What?
They killed everybody in Cambodia that wore glasses, all the intellectuals, all the people that could read, and the average IQ of Cambodians went down 8 percentage points.
Wow. Okay. Well,
that's what's the opposite word to eugenics? Degenics? Whatever.
Actually,
okay.
Dysgenic is probably the
probably
word.
So.
Yeah.
Well, you think that morons should be allowed to reproduce?
Yes.
Well,
that explains a lot about it. Yes, okay.
That explains what I mean.
They are already reproducing. Now, let's talk about Nietzsche.
Talk about Frederick.
And I want to say something about Nietzsche because I got this off the internet. It says Nietzsche's works remain controversial, and there is widespread disagreement about their interpretation and significance.
Yes, there is.
Part of the difficulty in interpreting Nietzsche arises from the uniquely provocative style of his philosophical writing.
Yes.
It says he frequently delivered trenchant critiques of Christianity and philosophers such as Plato and Kant in the most offensive and blasphemous terms possible.
He said that only Englishmen want to be happy.
All right, so if he remains controversial to this day, but you apparently, are you a supporter of
I'm a supporter of Nietzsche's style. To provoke people into thinking.
Okay.
What they wind up thinking is
not necessarily his conclusions.
Well, he doesn't have any conclusions.
He said God is dead.
Well, that's not a conclusion. That's a provocative statement.
It's
a conclusion, if you ask me.
To
me, Nietzsche and Richard Dawkins and Madeline Murray O'Hara.
Well, all right. But what you like about Nietzsche is his style.
Provocative style.
Is that style being used today by some contemporaries whom you would?
There are people contemporarily who use kind of a shake 'em up style. Yes, I'd find a little difficult to right off the top of my head of realizing who they are. Bill Maher's style.
Mm-hmm. Is Nietzsche's style?
Well, it's a provocative style. Mm-hmm. When he did his little movie about what was it, religion, and he interviews who does he interview? He interviews the most extreme idiots on the religious right. Then he goes to the Vatican and interviews a very sensible, a very deep, profoundly thinking priest who says, all of us don't believe that stuff. All right. The Pope is the one that everybody doesn't agree with the Pope.
Well, I would certainly hope.
Most Catholics don't agree with the Pope.
Yeah, but except that we consider the Vatican to be a country, and we send an ambassador over there.
Well, at least we don't have to pay their taxes.
All right. Well, we've got a few minutes to go, so anyone who has something else they want to throw in.
Well, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Are you related to the Stewarts, the kings of England?
I hope so. Maybe not.
Because they were all very suspect, were they not?
There are one or two Stewarts in England.
Who are suspect? Yes, indeed. Okay. I just wondered.
I'm reading something, and I don't know who to attribute to, but they said the union of such beliefs, which was the religious beliefs, with the power of government is woman's greatest threat. secularism is women's best friend. Now,
that sounds like a Margaret.
Sounds like a Margaret saying.
So we're talking here about church-state separation, aren't we?
Yes, and
now,
we said outside that, and this is very true, the states that support churches are the ones where churches are dying out. The state-supported churches, like in England and Sweden and places like that, they're all on the payroll. Religion is dying out. We should advocate state support of churches in this country. Now, that's a provocative thought.
In this country, our federal government is supporting churches by they aren't taxed.
Yes.
People who give them money can take deductions from their tax return.
Well, it's helping. It's helping.
They don't have to disclose that.
Don't think that the United States doesn't have support.
Okay, well, it's helping because religion is definitely on the way out.
All right, well, we got about a minute or two for whoever wants to throw something.
I'd like to say that with Richard Dawkins leading the way, I believe that now, the new enlightened president, we are on the verge of a new enlightenment.
He's a very religious man, is he not?
I know. I think
he sits there and drinks beer with everybody. That's religious.
Yeah, what's more, I don't think that atheism is going to increase proportionally. I think there's going to be a huge swing.
You're talking about exponential
arm swing, just like.
When do you think an atheist is ever going to be elected to public office in this country?
We've had many atheists elected to public office.
Yeah, but not publicly
atheists. That's true. Well, I would like, we in our organization would like to think that what you just said is going to come to pass. And let me just say, for the sake of our viewers, that our organization is the New Orleans Secular Humanists.
We ought to tell them that. Yes.
We are not New Orleans atheists. However, humanism, as it is officially defined, places no credence on the supernatural. So it's another way of saying the same thing. But in our organization, we welcome folks who choose whatever label they want. They can be agnostic, naturalists.
As long as you're a thinking person, you're welcome.
We want someone with open minds, and we're not trying to convert anyone from their faith, because that would be a futile attempt. I want to thank you folks for watching us, and I want to thank our panelists here for being with us today. Whatever we talked about deserves much further discussion. We hope to see you again next week.